Feel the speed, the thrill, yeah. High octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed. Sunday night, lights are bright, engines roar, take the flight. On the track, speed ignites, feel the rush, grip it tight. Racers fly through each turn, fierce and fast, rubber burns. Champions rise, lessons learned, victories call, hearts yearn. SKR, feel the drive, oh yeah. Push the limit, come alive. SKR, feel the speed. Adrenaline is what we need. Fast gear, engines wail, close the gap, never fail. Pit stops quick, no detail. Fuel the fire, trail to tail. Final lap, tension high. Who will win? Who will fly? Rivalries burn under the sky. Finish line, here's the cry. SKR, feel the drive, oh yeah. Push the limit, come alive. SKR, feel the speed. Adrenaline is what we need.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, 'cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. ride. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So Mr. George, with his heart on his sleeve, in the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beats. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, NFR, drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, sick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone Town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Like a shooting star, the engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's a dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR. Calls to play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Not Fernando calls to play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene, in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be, join the race, watch and see. Chasing dreams under pressure, lost in the crowd. Corner 2 shots spun out wide and free. Championships slip like sand into the sea. Just chicane caught him slow on the twist. A second's hesitation, victory missed. Green spot, he slid off the track. Fans gasping as the sky turned black. Pressure breakdown and a running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pit stop chaos, tires not there. Mechanics fumbling in the pit lane's glare. Leaderboard slipping like oil on the floor. Lando's hopes falling, can't take anymore. Max takes the lead with a grin so bright. Lando's in shadows, can't find the light. Wheel to wheel, but he's losing grip. Champions rise as dreams start to slip. One last race, the engines scream, hoping for a miracle, grasping at the dream. Final lap and there's no more to give. Lessons in the losses, that's how we live. Pressure breakdown and a running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear.
Feel the speed, the thrill, yeah. High octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed, the speed. Sunday night, lights are bright, engines roar, take the flight. On the track, speed ignites, feel the rush, grip it tight. Racers fly through each turn, fierce and fast, rubber burns. Champions rise, lessons learned, victories call, hearts yearn. SKR, feel the drive, no detail. Fuel with fire, trail to tail. Final lap, tension high. Who will win? Who will fly? Rivalries burn under the sky. Finish line, here's the cry. SKR, feel the drive, drive. Oh yeah, push the limit, come alive, alive. SKR, feel the speed, speed. Adrenaline is what we need, need.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to SKR. Of course, Sunday afternoon, 6 o'clock. You know what it's time for. And of course, Season 10, Round 6. And we're in Singapore. Of course, the night race, as always. A challenging race circuit. One where barriers come close. Just like Monaco. Just a lot faster than Monaco. So making a mistake even easier. There's a lot of you in the chat already prior to the event even beginning. So thank you to everyone who's watching already. Got a lot of familiar names. Of course, Ubuntu, Death Queen, we saw Skull here earlier. Tian is in here. Not quite sure why he's not on the racetrack. That's where he should be. Already some cars getting out on circuit. We'll get our first taste of F1 2025 cars in 2 weeks from now for pre-season testing. I know it's just testing, but damn, I'm looking forward to it. Early days, early mistakes. Skull down the escape road. The sort of thing we're going to see a lot of, especially in these opening laps. If you haven't done a few laps of practice prior, it's easy to lose your way around this circuit, miss a few braking points, go explore a few exit roads. Fortunately, not exactly like Monaco. Some corners do have a little bit of runoff, just like that one. Just allow you that second opportunity if you make a mistake, but in other parts of the circuit, it's like here, all the barriers get extremely close and any sort of mistake will be the end of your session. In a field like this, that's the last thing you want to do. Retire from the session without a lap time. There's 18 drivers in the lobby, meaning you're going to be starting very far down the order. No lap times just yet. Of course, we expect the likes of Weeze to go to the top of the field. We expect the likes of SKR to go to the top of the field. Very quick drivers here in the field. We've seen some impressive performances from the likes of Andre, from the likes of Skull earlier on in the season. So there's a lot of names here. We've got a lot of potential. Alpine, one of the teams looking to get some points on the board. Having a look before there are any lap times at that Drivers' Championship. Weeze leads the way with 109 points. Second best is SKR on 80. And quite a drop to P3, that's Pantherstar on 53 points. And then of course in the Constructors, slightly closer, Williams on 125 points, Aston Martin on 105. And of course still a long way to go in this championship. Not that long to go. Look at that, I've messed up the calendar. Cartoon goes quickest, first lap time on the board, 1:29.0. We're going to see even quicker than that as the session goes on. This is one of the two McLarens. This is Smurf that we're watching. The other McLaren is Andre. Smurf returns to the pits without setting a lap time. This is Andre, the other McLaren. As with the majority of the field, he's looking for that first lap time of the evening. It's difficult in these opening laps. Difficult not to run into traffic. Love a car there for a bit of extra slipstream. But if you run too close to that car, well, it's gonna hurt. Couldn't have hurt this time around. Good enough for P2. It's a good lap. 128.8. Next best 129.0. That's Harsh Cartoon. Two Williams have gone over the line in 7th and 8th. That's not a representative lap for Weeze. It's a 1:44. Maybe just backing out of the lap. A little further down, we've still got Top Gun looking for that first lap. You can see he's just weaving around, so that's an out lap. This is Zach Magosi looking for his first point here tonight. Been a difficult season. With a lineup like this, just getting into the points, it's a huge achievement in itself. So many quick drivers. Weeze has gone quickest as predicted. That's going to be one of the men we expect to see at the top of the field, but who can challenge him tonight? 1:27.0. It's 9/10 quicker than anyone in the field. Pantherstar second best, then Andre, he's gone down to P3. First lap from SAFRL was not a representative lap, I don't think. That was a 31.2. Must have made a big mistake or just backed out of the lap. Second Ferrari, Jonas, still in the pits. No lap time from him, not showing any of his cards just yet. Smurf still in the pits. We saw him on a lap. He returned to the pits without setting a time, suggesting that was invalidated or he just was very much not happy with it. He's returned to the pits. No movement from him just yet. Some other driver we expect to see at the top of the timesheets. No lap time yet. Levy on an out lap. And the second of the two Alpines. This is Gattuso. His teammate, where is his teammate? Has he set a lap time? Where is the second Alpine? Oh, there's the second Alpine. It's retired from the session. Atmagosi has decided he's had enough of qualifying. He has not set a lap time, so he will start from the rear of the field. Top 6 considering everybody else here gets a lap time. We're still waiting for lap times from Sugar Bear, Levy and Katozi. Sugar Bear is on a quick lap. The other two drivers I mentioned, they're on out laps. Looking for those initial runs. We're still waiting for Jonas. He is on an out lap, so he's eventually emerged from the pits. Smurf, on the other hand, well, he wasn't happy with that first lap, returned to the pits, and he hasn't left the pits since. Sugar Bear looking for that first time, he's about to go over the line. It's a good first time, 1:27.8, leaving things a little later than he'd like, just 9 minutes remaining in the session. And the longer the session goes on, that you don't have a lap time next to your name, the more the pressure builds. Each lap time you do, the stakes get higher, pressure gets higher. This is Levy. Still no lap time from the Sauber driver. Of course, this team in 2026 will no longer be Sauber. It will be known as Audi. Ending quite a long history of the Sauber name in Formula 1. Of course, Sauber making its debut in South Africa in 1993. And they also reintroduced Mercedes-Benz to Formula 1 as an engine supplier, who later left and went to McLaren. And when they got tired of being an engine supplier, well, we all know what happened next. We joined the Ferrari at the wrong moment. Joined that Ferrari at a very wrong moment, just going around, losing the back end. Looks like he's been able to do enough to hold on to his front wing. Yes, he has. So if he's got enough fuel, if he's got enough power, he can just slow down, charge up, go for another. Some drivers will be on absolute fumes, so if they do miss that first lap, they're going to have to come into the pits. Tian expecting a 26.4. It's not far off, 26.7 at the moment. Wee's 27.0. He's going to have to find a little bit more. That 27.0 was so impressive when he set it. But Jonas has gone quicker. He's put a Ferrari on provisional pole. It would be next to a Williams. Ferrari versus Williams. Late 90s. Late 90s classic. Of course, Williams promising a return at least to the midfield this season. With a much more impressive package. And their largest sponsor in the team's history. Also got Revolution here in the comments saying he's going to have a challenge on his hands tonight. I think he will. I think he needs one. Leading the championship, he's got a nice cushion. Maybe that's what he needs. A little bit of pressure. Somebody to inflict the pressure on him that he inflicts on the rest of this grid. Wees returns to the pits. 27.0, still his best lap. This is Pantry Star, third in the championship, third in the timing sheets. Top Red Bull driver. Do we have another Red Bull? Yes, we do. The other Red Bull is Top Gun P11. 18 drivers, so 2 of these drivers are missing teammates. I'll figure out which ones a little later on. Got 2 Ferraris. Do we have 2 Mercs? No, we've got 1 Merc, so 1 Merc is missing. Who else is missing a teammate? I think it's the RB. So we've got 1 RB, 1 Mercedes, and everybody else. has brought their full team along for the race. This is Andre, currently in P8. His best time is a 28.6. This is a view of this great circuit. Initially, when it was brought onto the calendar, it was the original night race in Formula 1. It was unique. It was the only thing like it on the F1 calendar. Racing under floodlights. Today, things have changed somewhat, and it's a lot more common. Of course, we were even supposed to have a Vietnam night race. A race that most people have forgotten about. Track was built, contracts were signed, everything was ready to go. And then something happened in 2020. The race was cancelled, never got back on the calendar, and today the pits have been converted into a mall. Captain Slow's best time at 29.6. He's out on circuit, the only representative for RB here tonight, looking to get himself at least into the top 10 positions for that race start. Of course, I say it's got similarities to Monaco, but I only mean in terms of the barriers, in terms of it's a street circuit. A lot easier to overtake around Singapore than Monaco. It is possible, but it's not easy. At the moment, Jonas, the quickest driver, 26.7. Second best is Wheeze. That's not something you hear every day. Second best is Wheeze. Well, that's where he is currently, 27.0, only good enough for P2. If he's going to take P1 away from the Ferrari driver, he's going to have to find himself a minimum of 3 tenths. But he's going to be looking to get a little bit more than that just to be comfortable. That Ferrari in the pits, just over 2.5 minutes remaining, so if he's going to go out there and defend this lap time, he's going to have to do it in the next couple of seconds. Let's have a look at that Ferrari, no movement from the Ferrari pits. Go back to the man in P2, the championship leader, the reigning champion. And these are the sort of sights Carlos Sainz is dreaming of at the moment. A Williams that can battle for a front row. Wouldn't that be a thing? Carlos Sainz going to Williams at exactly the right time. A few years ago, no one would have thought McLaren would be where they are today. Who says Williams can never make a comeback? Captain Slow, 28.4. Levy seems out of position. 28 point. Is that a 28.8? 28.8 for Levy, good enough for P12. Extremely quick driver. But if it's not your favorite race circuit and the field is as quick as this one, all of a sudden a quick driver can find himself outside the top 10 where he's really not used to being. For some of these quicker drivers, it can be difficult to start in the midfield, just used to either having a clean racetrack or just having 1 or 2 cars ahead of them at the start. Start down the order, you're surrounded by cars and you're just hoping there's no chaos, and of course that you're not the cause of the chaos. Just a few seconds remain, just over 30 seconds remain, so if you're in the pits, that's the end of your session. This is Wheeze. 27.0 is his current best. He's in sector 2. He's looking for something more. He needs 3 tenths at minimum. We do have that Ferrari on and out lap, so 3 tenths might not be enough. But Ferrari's going to try and defend that lap, bring it down even further. And Wheeze Wheeze will take no further part. And that seemed like a soft crash. Not really sure what happened there. Just went into the wall just before entering into the corner. Maybe trying to use all the width of the race circuit. Not quite sure. That's the end of Wheeze. Good enough. He's got a 27.0. It will be good enough for P2. Unless anyone else behind him is able to improve. It's Farid at a 27.1, so that was awfully close. But this is your provisional pole sitter, and he's just lit up sector 1 in purple. That means he's going quicker. Let's see what he can do with sector 2. This is Jonas, 26.7 at the moment. How much more does he have in his pocket? The rest of the field, at least the ones sitting in the pits, they'll be watching this lap time closely. Everyone on the stream will be watching this lap time closely. 26.7. Can he pull any more out of that lap time? How much will it be? You see him peel off into the pits. It's because it's not worth it. See him right up sector 1. Definitely not going in the pits. There we go, around and over. And he has gone quicker. 2/10 quicker. 26.5. I think the prediction for pole position was a 26.4, so very, very close in the comment section. And Jonas, confirmation, is going to start from pole position. And there is my lovely little copyright song. Thank you, F1. So quickly to get through your results because the time is already on. Jonas takes pole position. He's going to be joined on the front row by Farid. We didn't see that, but he took it right at the end. Then Wheeze P3, Sugar Bear P4, Pantry Star P5. Then we've got Skull, Smurf, Spikes, Captain Slow, and Top Gun making up the top 10. Outside the top 10 with a bit of work to do, Andre P11, then Lebby 12, Harsh Cartoon 13, Katozi 14, Virus 15, Skulk 16, The Doc 17, and Apmagozi makes up the field. We're looking at the pits again. Of course, no break really to speak of. We get going with the race almost immediately. Drivers now just have a little bit of time, a few seconds really, until anybody readies up, and then they're going to have 30 seconds to finish off. This is where you set your strategy. This is where you decide what tires you're going to start on and what plan you have for your race. Of course, that plan might go awry very quickly. I've seen interesting things here in Singapore. Just ask the Ferrari team about turn 1. Don't want to do anything rash. You don't want to do anything silly. It's a long, long race. And it's a circuit that can end your race with just one mistake. Of course, when we do get going, it's not going to be straight into the race. First, we get a formation lap. It's going to allow all the drivers one last opportunity to get around the circuit with a full fuel tank, get a feel for it. Obviously prepare their tires, prepare their brakes, and prepare their focus for turn 1. Quite a lengthy break. We will get going shortly when we do. And there we go. We wait for the dual green lights. And we're off for a formation lap. I thought it was going to be Ferrari versus Williams. Well, Farid came out of nowhere right at the end. He would have been happy to see Reese retire from the session. Just needed a little bit. and he had a little bit. Put himself up into P2. So now the drivers will be getting those tires ready, getting those brakes ready, or at least they'll be trying to. But for a lot of them, they'll already be thinking about turn 1, already be thinking about that first lap. We've had so many races on this channel, at this circuit, with safety cars within the first 3 laps. It's just madness. The thing about this circuit is in Monte Carlo, drivers don't try insane stuff because the track is just narrow. There's no space to do it. Here in Singapore, there are parts of the circuit that are awfully wide. And drivers just get a little braver, especially on those opening laps when everybody's so close together and you can see yourself making up so many positions with a move or two. Sometimes your eyes open up wide. And you forget about the limitations of the car. Dion saying he knows his driver times. Dion should be out here on circuit. I wonder if he would be on that front row. 18 drivers getting ready, focusing their minds to turn 1. All the practice, all the preparation, all the qualifying laps, it all comes down to this. You can get P1 in qualifying. If you mess up turn 1, it really didn't mean much. Now wait for the 5 red lights. There we go. 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them. They will go out and we will be underway. Jonas versus It's4E versus Weiss. Fantastic start from the Williams. Fantastic start from the Williams. Weiss takes P2. Goes around the outside of It's4E. It looked like there was a bit of contact. The Aston Martin just got a little unsettled. You can see the carbon fiber flying around. Top 3, Jonas, Weiss, It's4E. He got jumped at the start. Then Sugar Bear in P4 where he started. Skulls made up a position. He's up into P5. Vanderstar down to P6. Then we've got Spikes P7, Smurf P8. We've got Top Gun in P9. He's actually just switched positions down to P10. Captain Slow made up a position into P9. This is Jonas. This is Weiss. Going side by side. Fighting for position. Early days. 51 laps in this race. It's one of the longer ones. It's the most laps you'll get in a 50% race. I think that's Brazil. Or is it Monaco? Might be Monaco. I think Monaco's 39 laps. Jonas still leads the way. Lights up the first sector in purple. Weiss P2, then It's4E, then Sugar Bear. Rest of the field. Stay close, stay within DRS, keep this field together. As we mentioned, safety cars in this race, always a strong possibility at this circuit. But we have seen examples of what happens when safety cars don't come out. It can get very far spread out. This can get a little boring. The field wants to stay together. They don't want these guys out front to get too far up the road. Jonas, Weiss, side by side, and now Weiss takes the lead of the race for the first time. He had the fastest time in qualifying for an awfully long time. That was taken away from him by the Ferrari driver when he was on his final lap in qualifying, trying to take pole position, made a mistake, found himself without a left front wheel. Had to start from, thought he'd start from P2, then It's4E stole it away from him at the last moment, had to start from P3. Got Ferrari into turn 1. He's got the Ferrari by lap 2. He's out where he wants to be, with no one in front of him. see the Ferrari looking a little far back. That's what happens when you get race circuit with really long straights. On the straights it looks like they're far back. Once they get to the corners you see it's a little closer than that, 7/10 of a second. Once he breaks that 1 second barrier though, things are going to be a lot more difficult for the cars behind. At the moment the Ferrari can just be towed around. Let's bring up some of the telemetry for the viewers at home. Don't read too much of this on the stream, that's because some of the drivers are listening. Some of them get mad. This gives the viewers a better idea of where the drivers' batteries are and how much they have to defend, how much they have to attack. Sometimes you see someone pulling away very quickly and you think, how is he doing this? Quickly go over to his car and see he's got no battery left. That usually explains things. Bonus in P2, it's Ferrari staying with them both. And Sugar Bear seems to have lost view of the top three. There they are. Oh, down the road. Banky Star in P5. He has since retaken that position that he lost to Skull. This is Skull, the second Williams. His teammate up the road in the lead by 4/10 of a second. Second Williams very much in the points and almost looked like he was lining up this Red Bull. I think he thought about it ever so briefly, but now Red Bull does not get the exit he would have wanted. Car gets a little squirmy on the exit, but Skull also runs wide on that final corner, and you don't want to do that too many times, otherwise you're going to get one of those that you see at the top of your screen right now. Penalty goes the way of the dock. That's the first penalty on the night so far. 51 laps of this race circuit. That is the first of many penalties to come. Lap 4 of 31. Reese leads the way, Jonas P2, then we've got Ferrari in P3. Sugar Bear, he's now fallen adrift from the top 3, 4 seconds almost that gap. Then he's got a DRS train of his own, Banky Star, Skull, spikes all the way back down. The Red Bull was lining him up towards the inside, there was no space for that. Banky Star versus Sugar Bear, Skull, best view in the house. For that battle up the road. Of course, if there's any sort of contact, any sort of misfortune for those two up the road, and they'll take full advantage, put themselves up into P4. This is the second horse. One horse in P4, one horse in P7. It's a Smurf. And the two McLarens. This one in the points. Andre looking to get into the points. I said the penalties were coming. Captain Slow, 3-second penalty. We now have 2 drivers on penalties. They will start to come. A lot of these drivers will already be on warnings. Wish we had some sort of indication of who's got how many warnings. Close they are to that penalty threshold. Zach Ngozi currently running in P16, ahead of the Doc, who's got a penalty, and he's ahead of Skulk, who's right way away from everybody else, so it looks like he's almost made 2 pit stops. Just bring up that pit stop screen. He's just made the 1 pit stop, but he's 40 seconds adrift from the next driver. Tyre screen for the first time in the race, and when you look at that, the 2 quickest men on circuit, they're on hards. P1, P2 on a set of hard tyres, that's exactly where you want to be at the front of the field. The supposed slowest compound means you're doing everything right. It's Ferrari's able to stay with them, but he is on a medium set of tyres. It's the opposite of what the medium tyre is supposed to be doing. When you go out on the softer tyre, it's to get the superior start, it's to get into the lead, it's to open up the gap for when you do make that pit stop earlier than everybody else. Unfortunately for it's Ferrari at the moment, just a frustrating part of the race, because he's got that superior tyre, but he's stuck between 2 drivers. Well, they're stuck behind two drivers on the hard tyre. He's not really able to do anything about them right now. Of course, lap 5. Let me know in the comment section what you expect here from 51 laps. So let's say 12 laps on the medium, maybe 13. Let me know in the comment section what you think. How far will these drivers go on mediums, and how far will these hard runners go into the race? There's lots more knowledge in that comment section than there is here in the comms box. So let me know what you think of those medium tyres. How much longer do they go? And when do you think they'll start to drop off? When will the track come to the hard tyres? Is that a mistake? I think that was a mistake. There we go. Big mistake. Rees gets a huge advantage. 1.5 seconds, and it's Rees all over the back of the Ferrari. Looks like he just tapped the wall on the exit. Luckily, he's still got all of his front wing intact. That was a big advantage to Rees. He was holding on to the back of that Williams for the longest time. Now all of a sudden a 1.5 second gap beyond DRS. And now he's got to defend from It's Ferrari. Almost fell into the clutches of It's Ferrari there. Was lucky to regain his momentum without losing any positions. 3-second penalty going the way of Skull. Now 3 drivers join that penalties roster. A roster that's only going to become a lot more populated before the end of this race. Rees is out front. He's been out front ever since he took the lead of the race. He's not let that lead go ever since. Came under a lot of pressure from the Ferrari driver Jonas, but since then Jonas has made a little mistake. Seemed like a little bit of a tap of the wall, maybe with the rear tyre. Just put his momentum off for a little bit. He has since regained momentum. He was able to defend that position from It's Ferrari, which was very much in doubt. Looked like he was going to lose too. He was not only going to lose that gap to Rees, he was also going to lose a position, but managed to hold on to things. A caution in sector 2. Hopefully that's all it is. Don't want any stoppages in the race. Maybe we do want stoppages in the race, but maybe not this early. Lap 8 of 31. Let me know in the comment section if the stream is looking okay. Seems like my internet's not the best this evening. It's been a real up and down 2 weeks with my internet connection, but we're trying our best. Just want to see if I can try and add Gatozi back to the stream. Give me one moment, I'll be back with you. And we're back, lap 8 of 31. Rees still leads the way from Jonas. It's Rees still in P3. Big gap down to P4. Spikes the next best. Leads the way from Pantry Star. Then there's Smoke, Top Gun, Levy, Andre. Not so long ago, I said one McLaren was in the points, the other one was not. While they're both in the points, Andre has made his way up into P9. Skull now down to P16. He's made a pit stop. Wonder if he had damage. Seems like he went a bit early for that, to get rid of that medium tyre. Skull P17. The dock. Two Ferraris on either sides of the timing screen, one in 18, one in P2. Looked like we were going to have double points for the Williams team, but Skull's going to have to get himself in gear and do a little bit of work if he's going to get himself back to the points. Driving out of position at the moment. There's a new set of hards, but he's down in P15. Jonas, when he initially made that mistake, the gap suddenly went up to 1.5 seconds. He has been able to match the pace of Wheeze. He's kept that gap at 1.5 seconds. The thing that will be troubling him is he's just not able to close it. It's Ferrari in P3 getting awfully close to losing his DRS. He needs to get on with it, and I think he's just lost DRS, just the wrong side of a second. And it's Ferrari. He needs to get himself closer to that Ferrari. I think we're starting to see the effects of a field spreading out. As I said earlier, no early safety cars. This is bound to happen, and why did I say, you know, that word, I'll never learn. I'll never learn. I said safety car, and all of a sudden, where is Skull? Skull is out. So there will be no double points for Williams on the night. One of the Williams has now retired. Seems like it's going to just remain a caution. I haven't seen any sort of notification for anything else, and the caution does disappear, so we'll get going again. Lap 10 of 31. Wheeze, Jonas, that gap 1.5 seconds as it's been for quite some time. But now we said it's Ferrari was getting close to that 1 second mark. Now he's gone far beyond it. Got 1.5 seconds to catch up to Jonas. Then P4. And this looks like another lead. 15 seconds adrift. This is Spikes. Death Green asking what happened to Skull. We didn't see it. We didn't see it. He was in the top 10. Seems like he made a pit stop that he didn't intend to make, because he went in on lap 7 or thereabout. Must have been for damage, came out on track and drove around in 15th for a couple of laps, and now he's DNF'd. So Skull will take no further part here tonight. Hopefully he returns to the stream and lets us know in the comment section what happened there. Skull now asking for an invite. I will be back with you in a few moments. And we're back. I don't know if Skull's going to be able to retake control of his car. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But on our screens, that Williams has retired. On our screens, that car is no longer in the race. If it were ghosting around the circuit, drivers should be able to get into the lobby and retake control of that car. I just don't think there's any car to take control of. That car is retired. If you can't get back into the lobby, at least let us know in the stream what happened. Skull and Andre did have a bit of bad luck with the lobby last week. Andre managed to get the race done at the end. I think Skull didn't have the same luck. They were getting all sorts of errors. Doc picks up a 3-second penalty. Just the 3 drivers in the lineup with penalties. I expected many more. but still only lap 12. So the gap had maintained for an awfully long time at that 1.5 second mark. It's now gone up to 1.7. This might just be Wheeze starting to eke out that lead. If I'm not mistaken, he's coming up to lap a few cars on lap 12 of 31. I think that's a Ferrari up the road from him. That'll be the Doc. Captain Slow has come into the pits, so Captain Slow becomes the first driver on the night to get lapped. He got lapped while he was stationary in the pits. Fortunately for Wheeze, and fortunately for all these drivers, when you lap a car, that car generally ghosts. There's a setting in the game which allows you to simply drive through that car. I've seen instances in the past on the game and in life where someone's race can get truly messed up by a back marker. It's not how we want to see races end. One Ferrari laps another. You see that ghosting effect I was speaking about. It makes things a lot easier. Just past the Sauber as well, so Skull, Doc, Captain Slow, all lapped cars. Next one to be lapped is Virus. It's a terrible feeling being lapped. You know they're coming. They've got the speed. What are you supposed to do about it? Ghosting also takes a lot of pressure off that driver that's being lapped. Sometimes those leaders will come up on you. They want the position immediately, but they've caught you at a very unfortunate part of the race circuit. You have to get in the way. You have to have the car in the middle of the circuit. Just an awkward place. They try to pass you there, and then they're not too happy about things. So the ghosting does just work out for everyone. Haven't seen Skull enter the lobby, and we haven't seen him retake control of that car, so I think that car is indeed out of the race. 2 seconds now the lead for Wheeze. Jonas held on for a long time, but now he's either going to have to dig very deep into his pockets and find pace that he hasn't shown us just yet. He's going to have to find something more if he's going to reel in that Williams, or the other way he's going to reel in that Williams. He's going to have to be creative with his pit stops. Does he go for an undercut? When does he pit? When's the right time? Questions will start to be going through his head. Not just yet, it's lap 14. So these hard tyres still have a bit of work to do. Never got an answer there in the comment section about how long these medium tyres should go, but we see now most of the medium runners have throttled those mediums. So I think I was right. Lap 12, lap 13. There's a few more medium runners left on the track. That is Spikes and Gutozzi. Those drivers started on those tyres. And then Skulk also on a set of mediums, but I don't think he started on those tyres. He has since made a pit stop. Wheeze 2.3 seconds, the gap continues to extend. Feel pretty powerless when you're the driver behind. One moment you were matching that driver, you were putting pressure on that driver, you were struggling for the lead. DRS was making all of that possible. The moment you drop out of DRS, that 2 or 3 tenths advantage he has over you, all of a sudden it becomes evident. Within DRS, you can neutralize a gap that small. Out of DRS, a gap that small adds up to a 2.3 second gap in a matter of 2 or 3 laps. thing about these two is that they're on exactly the same strategy. They're both on hard tires. They're probably going to pit on the same lap. I wouldn't be surprised. Weeze is in the lead, so either Jonas will follow him in, or he'll try something different and be the first one to come into the pits. There will be no pit stop yet. It's lap 15. Lap 16 rather. So we've just made halfway distance. Just over halfway distance. The Doc picks up another 3-second penalty to add to his collection. Let's have a look at the penalties column, and it is a collection. The Doc up to 12 seconds now. Captain Slow and Top Gun, the other two drivers on penalties, but they've got 3 seconds apiece. But of course, not too much to worry about until you start to get to that 20 seconds mark. It is a bit of a grey area in the game. I'm not sure where the cutoff is, but I have seen drivers hit 27 seconds and get disqualified. I've seen drivers get all the way to 30 and get disqualified. I've seen drivers be in the 10s and be disqualified. It is a bit of a grey area. There's nothing the Ferrari can do right now. 2.3 seconds, the gap remains. And if he can pull an undercut, how much time is that undercut worth? And will that undercut be enough to make up the 2.5 seconds? Because as things stand, on pace alone, it seems like Weeze just has the advantage. It's an interesting cycle because Weeze and Jonas, they'll match each other for a number of laps. 3 or 4 laps, they'll match each other, the gap will remain the same, and then suddenly Weeze will find half a second on a lap, and then they continue to match each other. 2.5 seconds. While every now and then the Ferrari's matching the Williams, he's just not doing enough to reel him in. He's not doing enough to reverse the gap, to bring it back down. He's gonna need that pit stop. He's gonna need to do something interesting with the pit stop. Of course, that's if Weeze allows him to. Weeze is the leader, so if he comes into the pits, I'm almost certain the Ferrari is going to follow by example. The only interesting scenario here would be if the Ferrari chose to pit first. How much time could he gain on that extra lap on mediums before Weeze is able to get back to the pits? Got quite a few of you watching. Thank you to all that are watching the stream. Lap 17 of 31. We've still got a bit of action to show you. We're halfway, just over halfway. Thank all the viewers, everyone who's contributed in the comment section. Love talking to you guys, communicating with you guys and learning from you guys. There are actually some very quick drivers in this comment section. Drivers who do not belong in a comment section. How dare they? Wasted talent. Esports drivers in the making if they weren't lazy. I say that, but I don't even manage to sit in my rig for... I don't think I've done half an hour worth of practice in the last 3 weeks, so I wouldn't call them lazy. But I can call them lazy because there's nothing they can do about it. They're in the cockpit, they're concentrated. I know they're not even going to go for their keyboard. They can't even swear at me via text. And by the time they can, I'll end the stream. Weeze from Jonas. Look at the gap. That's what I mean about the gap. He's able to match. So for lap upon lap upon lap, the Ferrari's able to match that Williams. It just seems like one of two scenarios. Either that Williams, either Weeze has a little something more that he's producing every other lap, or it just means that Jonas isn't as consistent, and every now and then he's just dropping 2 or 3 tenths on a lap. For the time being 2.7, so it's going up, but it's going up very, very slowly. As been just saying there in the comment section, remember to like and subscribe to the channel, of course, if it's your first visit. Or if you haven't subscribed in the past, remember to subscribe. It's free and you can get a notification every time we upload a race. That's usually on a Sunday and a Tuesday. Of course, last week we had an extra 2 races. And from the whispers around the paddock, we might have another few HRA races on this channel in the future. And we might even have Apollo making a few guest commentary appearances here, particularly in SKR. Might even have him here for next week. He still leads the way, and the gap's still 2.6 seconds, so he's not able to pull away from that Ferrari. He's not necessarily quicker than Jonas. Jonas can match him, but matching him is not going to be enough to win this race. And I didn't notice it. I'm sorry to the viewers, I didn't pick it up when it happened. I've only picked it up now. Jonas has a penalty next to his name, and all of a sudden the likelihood of him closing this gap and winning this race has just gone down significantly. You'd have to make the overtake, whether it's in the pits or whether it's on the track, and I see something. If you don't see it on your screens, I suggest you look closer. I see something. I'm not going to say what it is until I'm sure. It's right on board, and there's your confirmation. I thought I saw it. I thought, surely not. But there it is. There's a raindrop on the screen. And if we have rain in Singapore, all hell will break loose. Of course, not as difficult in the game as it is in life, but if you've ever raced at night on a wet circuit, or even driven at night on a wet road with street lights, you'll know that the reflection can put you off. And imagine this, under the floodlights, in the rain, with a bit of spray and a safety car. Well, well, well. What more? Thought the race was starting to take shape. Thought the race was coming to an end. There's your reason. We see Skull. That's not Skull, that's Captain Slow. Apologies, in the RB. The only RB he gets tonight. He was propped up against the Pirelli sign. He's lost any semblance of a front wing, so he'll return straight to the pits. Fortunate thing for Wies and fortunate thing for Jonas is they didn't quite reach their pit window, so they never made a pit stop. This is the perfect time for the safety car to come out. Came out miraculously in their pit window, so they're able to come in, put on a set of intermediate tyres and maintain that P1 and P2. Of course, a lot of cars there from P3 all the way down to P8, all those drivers all the way down to P9, all on dry weather tyres, so they're going to have to come into the pits. This is going to flip the script a little bit. Top 3, top 4, top 5, all the same. It will flip the script. Of course, you're going to have a restart. Some of these drivers, they're quick, regardless. Dry, wet, snow, whatever the game can throw at them, whatever track you can throw at them, they're going to be quick. But there are drivers that are extremely quick in the dry because they do all their practice in the dry, and suddenly when the rain starts to fall, a few mistakes get made, and at every single restart mistakes are always a possibility. So this has thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. The said Jonas didn't look like he was going to be able to close that 2.7 second gap unless he worked some magic in the pit lane. Well, now he doesn't need to. He's got the safety car out there in front, and the safety car's done that work for him. In fact, he's brought the whole queue together. The only drivers out on circuit that get absolutely no benefit out of this safety car, and in fact this safety car will annoy them, is the cars that have been lapped. If you have been lapped, unlike in life, the safety car does not let the lap cars pass, and you simply get trapped a lap behind for the remainder of the race, regardless of how early or late that safety car comes out. But if you look at it, Reese, Murph, these cars were very far behind. To bring everybody back together, some drivers would have given up hope on a victory here tonight. All of a sudden, possibility is there. All the drivers so close together. All the drivers, same set of tires, same age of tires. All bets are off. Anything can happen. You do expect these drivers that have been in the lead to simply pull off and go back into the lead, make a new gap. We know that at a restart anything can happen. A mistake, one driver brakes a little too late, takes out another, causes a funnel effect. We know what turn 1 in Singapore can do. Turn 1 in Singapore may have even cost Sebastian Vettel his championship. We know what did cost Sebastian Vettel a championship. The stadium section in Hockenheim. I said that we'd seen on NFR in the past the likelihood of a safety car in the first 3 laps of this race was very high. We didn't get a safety car in those first 3 laps, not even a virtual. There were a few incidents, but overall things were very clean. We eventually did get our safety car a lot later than I expected. And that's an interesting scenario. Look at that, P11, P12, Oshkotoon and Virus. They've done something completely different. I wonder if that was by accident or by strategy. Virus and Oshkotoon have gone for the full wet compound. Could either be a master class, it could be a disaster. They're both outside the points, so the worst that could happen is they'll fall down that order. It doesn't make much difference to their points tally on the championship. Best case scenario, they picked a tyre no one else thought of. They rocket up that midfield and could get a good handful of points from a result that looked lost. HRA was pretty good to the channel. I think we picked up 25 subscribers from that stream on Thursday. For some reason we got no subscribers from the stream on Wednesday, but we got 25 from the stream on Thursday. That was Division 1. I think that league will be returning in some format to this channel. Do it. I said I would like to simulcast it to my normal channel for my viewers. They agreed, and eventually we moved the whole broadcast to this channel, and the viewers showed up. Thanks to all of you. You asked for more racing in the middle of the week. Tried to give you some. Hopefully we'll get more in the coming weeks. Formula 1 will start making a return in the coming weeks. In 2 weeks' time, we've got pre-season testing at Bahrain, and we're going to Australia to get things going. car will be in at the end of this lap. And look at this, Wheeze immediately, as that notification comes up, Wheeze knows he's the leader, he's the one responsible for all of these cars. He takes over the responsibility from the safety car. He's the one now that decides when this race restarts. He can go as early as he wants, he can go as late as he wants. It's all a guessing game for all of those cars behind him. I said there were 2 cars on the wet tyre. That has changed. We are now up to 5 competitors on the wet tyre. Who's made the right choice? Green tyre, blue tyre? We're soon going to find out. There is Visor joining late, unless he's been here the whole time and hasn't said a word, but that doesn't sound like Visor, so welcome to Visor in the late stages of the race. 23 of 31 who joined us just in time to see the end of the first safety car in this race. It's going to be Wheeze versus Jonas into turn 1, and the Ferrari does the smart thing, just tucks in behind the Williams for now. Now he's got to be careful. We saw Wheeze get out of DRS in the dry earlier on. Now there's going to be no DRS. So if Wheeze has the pace advantage, he will just pull away. You're not going to be able to neutralize it with DRS, not in these conditions. Visor starts to overpopulate the comment section. W, that's good. W's are good. L's are bad. Even Death Queen gets a W. NFR gets a W. I think the drivers should get a W. Wheeze leads the way from Jonas. The gap just 0.2 of a second. Thought about going alongside with the Williams briefly. He knows he can't let that Williams get up the road. While he's this close, he needs to try and make an overtake, get in front. He's got that penalty next to his name, so he needs to get in front and either pray for amazing pace or pray for the misfortunes of that Williams, of that championship leader, reigning champion, championship leader, coming under heavy pressure from the Ferrari. He was able to absorb it all before. Ferrari made a mistake, tapped the wall with the rear tyre, lost momentum, opened up the DRS gap. Williams was able to then pull away. Jonas has got a second opportunity at this. He's got a second chance. But that penalty might be the deciding factor. Visor saying he thought the race started at 8 PM. Well, SKR has been on this channel for... Well, I started this channel for SKR and SAFRL. That was last year in January. Had SKR here pretty much every Sunday ever since. And I think the only time we've had races at 8 o'clock, I think we've had races at 8 o'clock and we've had races at 4 o'clock, but that is because our race is clashing with a Grand Prix or a rugby game. I think we once moved it for a rugby game. Who plays rugby on Sundays? But we did once move it for a rugby game. SKR, very much a 6 o'clock league on a Sunday. 8 o'clock league you're thinking about is SAFRL. Of course, previously the Monday league here on the channel that has since moved to Tuesday night. That's their new time slot. You've tuned in once or twice on Monday and there's been absolutely nothing on the channel. SAFRL still very much exists and it's still very strong. It's just been moved over to a Tuesday night. I was reading the comment section and then I'm not quite sure what the comment... I think Death Queen is speaking Deutsch. Is that Deutsch? It's either Dutch or Deutsch. Deutsch sounds cool. Let's go Deutsch. It's free. He saw those two drivers ahead of him disappear up the road, and he's seen them disappear up the road again. Hasn't been able to stay with them at the restart. It's all about Wheeze, it's all about Jonas. The gap 7/10 of a second, bigger than it's been on previous laps. Ferrari looked to be attacking that Williams not so long ago. Doc adds 3 seconds. He already had all those penalties next to his name. Now the wet conditions just going to make it even more difficult. Keep your eyes on the gap between Smurf and Pantry Star, because that could be an indicator of where the track is. Pantry Star's on a set of wet tyres, Smurf on a set of intermediate tyres. The gap not so long ago, and when I say not so long ago, I mean 2 or 3 corners ago, was 1 second. That gap has since come down to 3/10 of a second, and I wonder if the wet tyre is indeed the right tyre to be on. Getting really close to the McLaren. We're going to see it into the next corner. If he's just got the superior grip, then he's not going to be able to do anything about it. Stays behind the McLaren for now, but you can just see here on the traction, I think he's going to have the advantage. Pulls up aside Red Bull versus McLaren, and Red Bull comes out on top. Top wet runner in the race. Pantry Star P4 on the timesheets, P3 in the championship standings. Looking for something special, looking to get himself onto the podium, but it's going to have to be a very, very special 3 laps to the end of the race. He's got a 7.3 second gap to the car in front of him. That car is on intermediates, so if the track has indeed crossed over, this gap should come down pretty quickly. If the gap maintains, well, then the track is just in that funny spot where sort of both tyres are working. Seen Andre recently, I think it was 2 weeks ago, in conditions similar to these. Difference on that occasion was basically the entire field was on a set of intermediates, and he was the first driver to go with that wet decision. Elevated him up the field onto the podium, and now I think these conditions bringing up a little bit of deja vu. Past his teammate Smurf on an intermediate set of tyres. 3 drivers at the front, they're on intermediate tyres. Just about the rest of the field, with the exception of Smurf, all on the wet. So it was an interesting scenario there with Virus going for the wet tyre. With just 2 drivers on the wet tyre. Since then, the entire field has decided that that was indeed the right choice. Top 3, on the other hand, they're not going to pit. They're going to try and finish this on the inter. Any sort of pit stop would be the end of their race result. Sugar Bear picks up a 3-second penalty. 10-second penalty goes the way of Afnagozi for speeding in the pit lane. And that's probably going to be the end of his race. He does DNF. But he DNF'd in the pit lane, so we're not going to have any drama, any stoppage in these late stages. 28 of 51, we should be in the safe zone, but I'm not ready to call it yet. I'll call it when we get to lap 29. Then there's simply no time for a safety car. 3 laps to go. You think there's no time, but we've seen it. It's Ferrari trying to bring this car home on the intermediate tyre. See the car just squirming around. We said it was a 7.5 second gap, I think it was, between Pantry Star and Etzferry. He has since closed that gap by an entire second, but he's not able to focus on that gap in front of him like he'd like to, because he's coming under pressure. He's coming under pressure from a McLaren. It's Andre, his teammate, one McLaren, going down the order on a set of intermediate tyres. The other McLaren trying to get a special result here. You know Jonas has a penalty, but I think that is just a 3-second penalty and nothing more. Good confirmation, yes it is. 3 seconds for Jonas, 3 seconds for Sugar Bear. Also got 3 seconds for Virus and Petrosi. 6 seconds apiece for Top Gun and Skull. And my disqualification prediction was incorrect. I said when you got to 20 seconds you should start getting worried. Well, the dot's on 31. Resume 10 of those seconds, changing the pit stop. Wees, 6/10 gap down to Jonas, plus that 3-second penalty advantage. So you can look at that 7/10 gap and call it a 3.7-second gap. He's comfortably in the lead, even if it doesn't look that way. It's Ferrari in P3, and he's not losing any more time really to Panchestar. We saw that gap come down almost a second in a lap, but it has since slowed down a heck of a lot, because Panchestar is now starting to look into his mirrors and seeing the Papaya McLaren behind him. He doesn't want to lose the P4. He looks at the gap ahead of him. He knows he can't catch P3. What he can do is defend his P4. One stage it looked like Andre had him lined up. Like Andre was definitely going to take that P4 away, but since then Panchestar has awoken. He has dug a little deeper to find a little more. And he has pulled the gap on Andre up to 1.1 seconds. It would probably take a mistake from Panchestar to reclose that gap. Nothing Pantry can do about the 3 ahead of him. Looked like that gap was coming down initially, and then I think that little battle with Andre just allowed the focus to slip. 7.9, it's actually getting bigger now. The gap is getting bigger. I think he's accepted his fate. He's going to close the gap at some point. You just start to think about bringing that race car home. Course, unless you're Max Verstappen, much like Ayrton Senna, he would tell him to slow down and start setting fastest laps. Didn't have that switch. Done enough. I'm safe. Bring it home. Who knows how to push to the very end, and the guys at the front, they're still pushing. And they're doing so on tyres that field suggests are not the best tyres. The Doc picks up another 3-second penalty. I think that'll take him up to 34. Of course, that is almost 2 pit stops worth of penalties. Something you've really got to nail down on this game. Doesn't matter how quick you are, if you're getting that sort of penalties, you could even be the quickest driver on the track by half a second a lap, 30 seconds out in front by the end of the race. You got those sort of penalties, you're still going to lose the race. Something some of the drivers need to tighten up on penalties, just a little bit more practice. Do some practice runs with strict corners on. Learn where you can cut the corners, where you can't cut the corners. In some places the track will be much more forgiving than you ever expected. On other parts of the circuit, the track is a lot harsher than you ever expected. Just got to learn where those limits are, because they vary from race circuit to race circuit. If you don't know where they are, can find yourself in a situation like that second Ferrari. Wees still leads the way, and he's opened up the gap quite comfortably now, just under 2 seconds with the addition of the 3-second penalty. 3-second penalty is not going to be enough for it Ferrari to catch. He's got a 4.3-second gap. So I think the top 3 will remain the same when they go over the line. And then anyone down from P10 to P14, I'm not going to predict, because all those cars have penalties, so I'm going to let the leaderboard sort that out. Not long to go in this race. Sector 2 of the very last lap, 31 of 31. It's been a clean race. When you look at the conditions, when you look at the race circuit, just had the one safety car. Happened when the raindrops started, so it was pretty perfect. Now Wees doesn't have much longer to go before he can get this victory as another notch in his belt, another step towards an SKR championship. Another step to defending his Season 9 championship. Championship leader takes another 25 points. We don't know who took the fastest lap, so he might have got an extra point. We'll have to wait for the final results for that. It's 3 goes over the line, confirmed in P3. The top 3 do remain the same. Pantry Star, no penalties next to his name, so he's done enough to hold on to P4. Andre so close at the end, but the gap between the two, just 3/10 of a second. That's 4 and 5. Sugar Bear goes over the line, P6. He's actually been passed by Smurf due to penalties. We'll let the rest of the drivers come over the line, and then we'll just read those results right at the end, because the game's got quite a few sums to work out. Lebby, luckily he went over the line just in time. I've seen that go the other way. I've seen drivers hit the wall just before the line and their screen grays out and they don't make it to that finish line. It's funny in practice, but when you get it awfully wrong, oh, you can feel so silly. I know that because first-hand experience. Did that around the final corner in China and I found the pit wall. The doc picks up a 10-second penalty. That's not a 10-second penalty, that's just confirmation that he didn't serve the penalty in the pits, so that'll be added onto his race time. I believe that is the end of round 6 in Singapore. Driver of the day goes to Andre. Fantastic drive from the McLaren driver to come from outside the top 10. And now we'll go through the results real quick. Wheeze, he did get fastest lap, so not only does he pick up 25 points, he gets the bonus, 26 for the night. Jonas, P2, fantastic result. That penalty came back to bite him though. Then it's Faree, P3, Pantry Star, P4, good drive. Andre, good return drive through the field. Smurf in the second McLaren, that's a good evening for the McLaren team in P6. Then got Sugar Bear P7, Harsh Cartoon P8, Lebby P9, and Top Gun takes the final point. No points on the night for Virus P11, Gatozi P12, Skulk 13, the Doc 14, and then we have the column of DNFs. Apmagozi, Spikes, Skull, and Captain Slow was the first to go. Well, folks, that is the end of SKR Season 10, Round 6 in Singapore. Of course, I think we've just got 2 rounds to go after this. Let's see if my calendar is working. Yes, it is. There we go. It wasn't working earlier on. Now it is. That's Singapore. That's round 6. That's where we just were. Next week, we go to the Netherlands. We go to Zandvoort. Penultimate race on the Season 10 calendar. And of course, it comes with that little extra. It's going to be a sprint Sunday. 2 opportunities to score points. And I'm sure we're going to have a very busy field. Of course, just 2 rounds to go. Wheeze, he was your championship leader, just added 26 points to that championship lead. And unless somebody is able to do something spectacular in the last 2 rounds, and Wheeze is able to drop the ball spectacularly in the last 2 rounds, I don't know if we're going to see a switch in this championship. It's been a fantastic broadcast. It was a fantastic race, a race that gave us a little bit of everything. Gave us rain, gave us a safety car, and it gave us quite a few penalties at the end of the day. A little bit of everything here at SKR. Of course, we now take a break there's no broadcast on a Monday night. Unfortunately, we will be back on Tuesday. That's at 8 p.m. Just going to have a real quick look in my Discord. I do not do. Is there anyone there? There might be. Let me just have a look. Yes, there is someone there. So I'm just going to take a minute, and then I think we're going to get Andre in the comms box, and I'll be back with you in a few moments.
Stars afar, around the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR.
Okay, and we're back. I've got Andre here. Andre, just say hello. I want to see if they can hear you. Andre, can you hear me? There we go. Andre, can you hear me? There we go. Now I just want to see if the audience can hear you. Let's have a look. There we go. Let's just see if anyone in the comment section is saying I can't hear Andre, then I'll know. But let's have a look. How was your race again with these conditions? Feeling a bit of deja vu? Nicely done. And then, do you have any idea on what happened to Skull? Death Queen saying no one can hear you. I'm just going to put the music on in the background for you guys. If you just give me 1 or 2 minutes, I'm going to see if I can get this Discord working.
Lanes of Silverstone Town. Folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. is lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter, see in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see. Lando in the cockpit, heartbeats loud, chasing dreams under pressure, lost in the crowd. Corner two shots spun out wide and free, championship slipped like sand into the sea. On the chicane, caught him slow on the twist, a second's hesitation, victory missed. Green spot, he slid off the track, fans gasping as the sky turned black. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild, back speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear, pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild, max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear, pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pit stop chaos, tires not there, mechanics fumbling in the pit lane's glare. Leaderboard slipping like oil on the floor, Lando's hopes falling, can't take anymore. Max takes the lead with a grin so bright, Lando's in shadows, can't find the light. Wheel to wheel, but he's losing grip, champions rise as dreams start to slip. One last race, the engines scream, hoping for a miracle, grasping at the dream. Final lap and there's no more to give, lessons in the losses, that's how we live. Pressure breakdown and a running wild, max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear, pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild, max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear, pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drown the fear. Pressure breakdown, drown the fear.
NFR, feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama.
Welcome back, everyone. We did everything we could. We tried this and we tried that, but for some reason I just couldn't get my OBS program to hear Andre. So I'm not quite sure what was happening there, but we just couldn't hear him. I could hear him, you guys couldn't hear him. So unfortunate, but we did have him here and we did have a bit of a chat about his race. And he didn't have the best start to things, but as the race went on, things came to him quite nicely, and he really appears to love these sort of conditions. I did term him the Rainmaster not so long ago. He's proving us all right. So I want to thank everybody who joined us on the stream this evening, everyone who joined SKR, and everyone who was here even before qualifying began. You guys show a lot of support to each and every stream, and I really appreciate it, and that's why I do it each and every week. So there's going to be a bit of a break tomorrow, but we'll be back on Tuesday. No HRA this week, so make sure to tune in on Tuesday. It's going to be the last one for the week. Until next time, everyone. Cheers.
For the speed, Formula One dreams to take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You look to NFR, feel the speed, the speed. Sunday night, lights are bright, engines roar, take the flight. On the track, speed ignites, feel the rush, grip it tight. Racers fly through each turn, fierce and fast, rubber burns. Champions rise, lessons learned, victories call, hearts yearn. SKR, feel the drive, oh yeah. Push the limit, come alive, alive. SKR, feel the speed, adrenaline is what we need. Fast gear, engines wail, close the gap, never fail. Pit stops quick, no detail. Fuel the fire, trail the tail. Final lap, tension high. Who will win? Who will fly? Rivalries burn under the sky. Finish line, here's the cry. SKR, feel the drive, oh yeah. Push the limit, come alive, alive. SKR, feel the speed, adrenaline is what we need.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that middle. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.